Well, here we go again. It's time for the annual Dingbury Players Open Day, the highlight of the Dingbury social calendar, or at least it will be in 4 hours. It doesn't start until 11. I'm not really sure what to do until then, to be honest. Well, I can't really get there much more than an hour early. The hall will still be locked. This is why I told them I needed an emergency key. I mean, if this isn't an emergency, I don't know what is. Might just give Chris a call, see if he needs any help with the leaflets. Morning, Chris. It's John. Yeah, I know it's 7 AM. I'm just checking in to see if you need any help for the open day. Right. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Bye. Well, he doesn't need any help. He made that very clear. Not sure he had to be quite so aggressive about it, really. I think he must have got up on the wrong side of bed. Figuratively speaking, he was still in bed when I called. That was the problem. Anyway, it's going to be a great day. The open day always is. It's sort of like our annual recruitment drive for the players. You know, a chance to bring in some new blood and fresh ideas. Within reason, of course. You know, we don't want anyone who rocks the boat. Wonder if we should have made that clear on the leaflets. Oh well, it's too late now. Everyone on the committee has a role to play. Chris is in charge of publicity, or at least he will be when he bothers to get out of bed. Paula, our social secretary, is in charge of refreshments. Hopefully she's remembered that it's supposed to be soft drinks only. Susan, the secretary, is in charge of membership forms, and Charles and Megan, our chair and vice chair, are in charge of setting up because, well, that was the only job left. And then as treasurer, I'm there to collect the money. Probably the most important job. Except people mostly pay by standing order, so practically there's not actually a lot for me to do. I suppose I'm really there for moral support. Or at least I would be, if the place was open. I'm actually taking the opportunity to do a bit of promotion today. Now this is it. My magnum opus, Summer and Springtime. I'm putting it forward for the new season. It'll be the first original play we've performed, which is very exciting. Well, assuming it gets selected, of course. It's a complex process selecting the plays for the new season. Well, we only put on 4 plays a year, which means that some people are inevitably going to be disappointed. Unless only 4 plays get submitted, of course, which is actually what's happened this year, and last year, and the year before. Come to think of it, I can't actually remember the last time we had more than 4 submitted. There's still the important question of which play gets which slot to be resolved, though. 2013, we had 5. Yeah, Sophie wanted to do a version of Animal Farm, which didn't make the cut. She left not long after that. Not because of that, she moved to Cleethorpes. The premium slot is the one at the end of October. That's the one that everybody's going to want. It's the sweet spot. Everybody's back from their summer holidays, but nobody's thinking about Christmas yet. I mean, it's Halloween, of course, but I think we can take it. Fortunately, I'm a step ahead of the game, and I've devised a clever plan to win around the rest of the committee. Well, some of them at any rate. I'm not going to lower myself to trying to persuade Charles. Not after what happened. I've still got my pride. I've made a spreadsheet of which way I think the votes are going to go. To be honest, it's mainly based on guesswork and levels of personal animosity. Anyway, obviously my own vote's in the bag, and I'm pretty sure that I can count on Megan too. Susan's putting forward her own play, so I'm assuming that she'll vote for that. As will Charles, since she's his wife. And the personal animosity thing. So that leaves Chris and Paula as the crucial swing votes that I need to target today. Now, here's the clever bit. I'm going for a 2-pronged attack. Not sure if that's a technical term. Anyway, I'm going to hit them with some carefully calibrated arguments for why I should have the October slot, and then, while they're still reeling from that, I'm going to follow it up by giving them a personalised gift each. That bit doesn't have anything to do with the selection process, by the way. I should make that very clear. I'm just giving my friends a gift. It's absolutely, 100% definitely, not bribery, okay? This is what I got for Chris. He actually does jiu-jitsu, not boxing, but I'm not sure what equipment they use for that, so I figured that as long as it's in the right ballpark, he'd appreciate it. I mean, ultimately, they're pretty much the same thing, aren't they? They're both just different ways of hitting people. I don't know. I don't really follow sports. And then for Paula, I got this. I'm not really sure what her hobbies are, to be honest. Is drinking a hobby? I suppose it is a regular activity that's just for enjoyment. I just hope she doesn't drink them all at once. She might forget which way she's supposed to be voting. Well, we're halfway through the open day. Just popped back to get some lunch. I actually had a fascinating chat with a prospective new member. India, her name was. Lovely person. About my age. We skew a bit high in the age range of members, so it's always good to get some younger people in. Anyway, it turns out she's new to the area, and she's starting a new job teaching drama at the local secondary school, Dingbury High. Well, it's supposed to be a great school by all accounts. Although that account wasn't their teacher, and she's not exactly a neutral observer, so might be best to take that with a pinch of salt. Even more exciting, she actually went to drama school and spent 10 years in London working as an actor. Not often you get that calibre performer in the Players. Not quite a coup, really. I think she could be a great fit for us. I actually mentioned my play to her, which she seemed very interested in. She was all set to take a copy of the script home with her, but, well, unfortunately she forgot to in the end. I did shout after her, but I don't think she heard me. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I think she could well be perfect as the female lead. Unfortunately, my chat with Chris didn't go so well. Turns out I was wrong. Apparently boxing and jiu-jitsu aren't the same thing at all, so he didn't want the gloves. He was very adamant about that. That's fine, obviously. I hopefully he appreciated the thought at least. Although judging by his tone, I'm not totally sure that he did. Well, that's the open day over for another year. Whew. I'd love to say that went smoothly, but just when I thought we had everything under control, Susan appeared to throw it all into chaos. I should have seen it coming, really. She'd been complaining for weeks that she didn't think she was featured prominently enough in the marketing materials that Chris had put together. I don't know what she was talking about. If anything, I thought she was featured too prominently. Anyway, she turns up at the open day with a stack of leaflets she's had printed, which only feature pictures of her, if you can believe that. Nobody else. Not even Charles. Her husband. She'd actually photoshopped me out of a few of them. He looked quite upset. Chris was furious, naturally. He's in charge of publicity and he doesn't appreciate people trying to muscle in. Even when all they're doing is offering some very helpful suggestions that would improve his work. By the time he found out what was happening, though, it was too late. Susan had already hounded a load of them out. So Chris then went round, demanding to see what leaflets people were holding and confiscating any of the unofficial ones that Susan had made. I'm not sure it painted us in the best light, really. That wasn't even the end of it. Susan then promptly unveiled a giant billboard with a picture of herself in one of our recent plays. She'd had it made specially. I think she thought it would inspire people to join. To be honest, I think people were mainly just scared. Her face was very big. Fortunately, the rest of the day proceeded fairly uneventfully, although my conversation with Paula didn't go quite as well as I would have liked. I gave her the gin, as planned, and she said, "Thanks, it's a lovely apology." Well, obviously I had no idea what she was talking about, so I said, "Apology for what?" And she said, "For ignoring me when you walked past me in the street last weekend." I wasn't even in town last weekend. Still took me about 10 minutes to convince her of that. In the end, I had to show the timestamp of a photo of me at my parents' house to convince that I was telling the truth. So we're off to a bad start. It got worse. I finally managed to steer the conversation onto my play, and just when I thought I'd managed to convince her to vote for it in the premium slot, in October, transpired that she thought that the premium slot was in May, something about it being nearly summer and there being 2 bank holidays. And so she was all set to vote for my play to be performed then. In October, people are too focused on Halloween, she said, which is clearly nonsense. So God knows what she's going to vote for. Sometimes you just have to walk away. She kept the gin though. Only 3 days to go now until the committee meeting to select the plays. Squeaky bum time, as they say. I've prepared my proposal. 32 pages, so nice and concise. I've spent the last 6 months writing this play, so I'm not taking any chances. Hopefully once they've read this, the votes will come flooding in. Well, bad news. I've just had a chat with Megan, our vice chair, and I showed her the proposal, just to get some feedback. Turns out that 32 pages is slightly over the limit by about 28 pages, so that's disappointing. A lot of hard work went into that. I'm going to have to try and work out what bits I can leave out now. That's not going to be easy. I might be able to lose it for the graphs, I suppose. Just had an email from Charles. He says that as only 4 plays have been submitted and there are 4 slots available, proposals aren't necessary. I've submitted mine anyway. Sometimes people appreciate a bit of light reading. Well, I've just got back from the committee meeting to select the plays, and I am thrilled to report that A Summer in Springtime will be performed by the Dingbury Players in October, just 3 short months away. I have to say, I made a pretty convincing PowerPoint presentation, which is probably what swung it. Sometimes you just have to bring your own projector. It was a unanimous vote as well, or at least it would have been if there was a vote. In the end, Charles just allocated slots and there were no objections. Still, I'm chuffed. That's the difficult bit over with. That should be pretty much plain sailing from now on.